Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back with part 2 of Dyslexia Tuesdays. As said in the title, it's a week late because I forgot to get around to it last week. But anyway, I hope people out there enjoy it, those interested in dyslexia, of course, and obviously all comments welcome as ever. And I hope that I can change perceptions of dyslexia and empower my fellow dyslexics and myself in the process. So I can't think of much else to say in the intro, but if you have any questions or anything you want to comment, please do fire away and don't hesitate to get involved. And if you want to make a reaction video or any sort of videos about dyslexia of your own, including inspired by this one, please do so, and also post the link in the comments as ever as well. I'd welcome that and appreciate it, and I hope we can bring this conversation together, and I hope to focus on dyslexics in business and tech and areas like that, and also YouTube and TikTok, things like that. So here goes. So number 11, I hope to support dyslexic inventors, investors, ideas people, and that kind of thing, and to look at how more dyslexics can learn how to invest and build their own businesses and look at ways we can network together. I'd love to know what you think, whether you think that if we network together, could we make things easier for each other? Me personally, I'm a bit, and I'm sure many other dyslexics as well, I'm quite laid back, although some people say it does give you a strong work ethic. But there's a lot of research that shows that for whatever reason, dyslexic people can be really good at business. I think there's a lot of dyslexic visionaries and imaginative people, creatives, and that kind of thing. And I suppose business involves a lot of creating things and solving problems and lots of things like that, which are specific dyslexic strengths. But there's a debate as to whether it's because we were born with those strengths, or whether we had to acquire them because of the academic system and our struggles to fit in with such systems, our struggles with it generally. But I'd love to know what you think about that. I think it'd be interesting if there's more research onto whether those skills would have been there anyway, or we would have done even better if let's say there wasn't the academic stigmas or academic system bringing us down, perhaps, and maybe even parents or society sometimes, which doesn't always understand us. But I'd love to know what you think about that. I suppose without schools, I guess many people would be roaming the street anyway or whatnot. But I wonder if people knew about our strengths and our creativity from a young age, whether we would do even better. And I'd love to see dyslexics do even better in the future. Well, I say even better. I mean, many dyslexics do struggle to even get jobs and struggle with crime, and apparently we on average are paid 15% less than our peers. So there is that as well. So, but there are many success stories, and I think it'd be interesting to change those perceptions. So I'd ask the question like dyslexia. Did you know that apparently 20% of self-made millionaires in the UK are dyslexic, and 35% in America? And I think it'd be interesting if Forbes, again, I know I mentioned this point before, but I think it'd be interesting if Forbes did a list of or found out what percentage of billionaires are dyslexic. Sally Shaywitz, if I pronounced her name right, I know pronunciation is not my biggest strength, did a talk, was asked to do a talk at Davos a while back, and she found that a lot of the people there, even though they were like leaders, in many cases millionaires or even billionaires, and really powerful and successful people, apparently came up to her and said they think they have dyslexia as well. So, they did a lot of research and found a lot of quite successful people have dyslexia. But I think more could be successful if they were encouraged and people knew about dyslexia. But if they weren't discouraged and that kind of thing. So I hope to change a lot of perceptions. And I think it would be interesting if research was done into what percentage of billionaires have dyslexia. I think that'd be interesting. I mean, I know money isn't everything, and a lot of anti-capitalists might not be happy with me saying that one about what percentage of billionaires. They might say, why do you need to know about billionaires? But I think it would be just quite interesting. And also a lot of politicians and governments and countries, societies and whatnot would look at that and say, maybe dyslexic people do have strengths that we could encourage and nurture and that kind of thing. Number 12, I'd love for us to teach each other and train each other. As I say, I know I mentioned this point quite a few times, but please forgive me because it is quite an important one for me and my goals personally, and I'd love to see what other dyslexic people think about that, and read and hear what other dyslexic people think about that. But I think it'd be cool if those who are more successful taught and trained the rest of us, like how to build a business, how to invest, and things like that. And maybe if we could give our money to a trusted organisation, if Schwab, the Schwab Corp, which I think invests middle class Americans' money, I think it'd be interesting if they took dyslexic people's money and, with their experience, knew how to invest that money and make it grow. So, as I said in part 1, our money would work for us. Number 13, I know there are still a lot of issues that dyslexics face, things like remembering people's names, memory, like you probably see with this YouTube channel, like sometimes I'll mistake, I'll say the wrong word or things like that, and also mumble on my words. So even though I had help learning to spell, I still have some difficulties like remembering names, short-term memory, and things like that. Although I do feel a bit of a fraud because I was taught to spell by a special needs teacher called Mrs. Fellows. But I suppose if I didn't have that support, I would still probably struggle with my spelling. But you probably wouldn't be able to notice I'm dyslexic unless I tell you. But there are still issues like with crime and things like that, and low self-esteem and problems that dyslexic people face. I'd love to hear from, again, and read comments from my fellow dyslexics about what issues you face and what you think holds you back. And 14, again, I think if we had a network, we could solve those problems and build confidence and look at strengths that dyslexics have, like problem solving. Number 15, also helping each other's ambitions and goals. I think if more people found out, that was a point I forgot to say in point number 14, if more people found out that if you're dyslexic, you might forget things, and this includes names and things like that, hopefully that will mean that less people will be offended, because I think it's interesting that so many dyslexics do well in business, considering we have struggles like remembering people's names and things like that, which can offend a lot of people. So that could mean you could lose a contract because someone gets offended. But hopefully if most people, I mean, some people will probably still be, whatever words I'm not going to say on this channel right now, but some people might be mean, shall we say, and not really care. But I think there's a lot of people, hopefully, who would be like, oh yeah, that guy's not, or that lady is not doing that deliberately. They are forgetting our name. I've even heard of a venture capitalist who talks about forgetting people's names. So hopefully, if we work together, many dyslexics can talk about techniques and things that they've learned to organise themselves, organise their time, remember things like taking notes, or what artificial intelligence or apps or technology can help to achieve our goals. And again, if people like Charles Schwab and Richard Branson and other dyslexics, even Theo Fetis and others like that, Damon John and people like that, took dyslexics' money to reinvest, to help it to grow, and there was like trusted sort of things, hopefully by pooling our money and resources together. I like to think that's a dyslexic visionary in me. Hopefully we could, I mean, I know that people are wary about scams, and I myself am very wary about scams, but I think if it was a trusted sort of bank account that reinvested, a trusted investment authority, it would be pretty cool. And also, I think it'd be quite interesting if dyslexics also helped other people to invest their money, just generally as well, but especially our fellow dyslexics, though, and helped us to have money for a rainy day, looking at how to invest that money, as they would know how to do it. People like Charles Schwab, Richard Branson, people like that, hopefully. Number 16, as ever, I'd love to know what you think are the best ways to help more dyslexic people to get into business. What do you think's keeping us back as individuals sometimes, or what do you think can keep us back all too often, and what do you think could be what things do you think could help us? What tools, as I say, apps, artificial intelligence, use of mobile phones, organizational tools basically is what I'm looking at, like having diaries, having notes, and maybe our own creative rooms and things like that. What do you think could help us to progress in the future altogether, hopefully? Number 17, one dyslexic talent we have, or skill, is use of imagination, and I'd love to hear more about dyslexic skills and what we're good at, not so much what we're bad at. Number 18, and hopefully success stories of dyslexic business people, entrepreneurs, whatever the difference is and that kind of thing, and dyslexics in banking and things like that will inspire more people in the future. Number 19, I hope to hear from more dyslexics who are involved in technology and things like that. And number 20, again, I hope we can look at what we can learn from each other as a community and how we can support dyslexics of all ages and backgrounds to achieve their full potential. And as ever, I'd love to know what you think, and I'm out. Peace out.